I'm just going to say it the way I saw it. Last Browns practice wasn't a practice. It was a takeover. I've been covering this franchise for years. I've watched every quarterback battle, every offseason storyline, every so-called competition. I have never seen anything like what unfolded on that field when Sanders stepped in and took control. From the moment he walked out there, you could feel it. I'm not talking about rookie confidence or a kid trying to impress the coaches. I mean command, authority. He walked on that field like he already owned the huddle. And the crazy part is, the players reacted to him like he did before he even threw a football. The coaches thought they were going to evaluate progress today. They thought they were going to get a fair competition and a clean data set to measure two quarterbacks. What they got instead was an organizational earthquake. 7-on-7 starts, and Sanders fires 5 completions in a row. Each one better than the last. One ball threaded perfectly between 2 defenders closing at full speed. One back shoulder throw that hit the receiver like they'd been practicing together for years. One deep dig thrown with perfect touch that actually made the offense gasp out loud. I'm not exaggerating. You could feel the shock ripple through the field after every release. And the reaction wasn't polite. It was explosive. Teammates yelling, pointing at him, slapping helmets, acting like they already knew what the depth chart should look like. You could see the belief forming in real time. Then it was Dillon Gabriel's turn. And I'm telling you, the moment he stepped in, the energy collapsed. First pass comes out late. Receiver has to basically contort himself just to get a hand on it. Second pass hits the ground before it even reaches the target. Third pass is behind the receiver and kills the play. Fourth throw should have been a pick and the defense let the entire practice field know about it. And here, I'm trying to do my best to gather all the information I can for you and share it with you. Please leave your likes and comments, and I would be grateful if you subscribed. Let's continue. You didn't need a press conference to understand what was happening. You could read it on faces. Players shaking their heads. Guys avoiding eye contact. A veteran receiver jogging back toward the huddle staring at the ground like he'd just watched something he'd rather forget. Meanwhile, Sanders is standing there with his helmet under his arm, watching every throw calmly like he already knows how this ends. Then came the moment that ended the competition completely. Team, period. Full field. Sanders takes the huddle and marches the offense 70 yards downfield in 4 plays. No hesitation. No wasted motion. And then he fires a laser across the middle to finish the drive like it was scripted just for him. The sideline exploded. I'm talking about defense yelling in admiration. Offensive guys jumping around like they just won a playoff game. Coaches staring with arms crossed, trying to look neutral, but you could see what they were thinking. Then Gabriel took the field, and it got worse. One overthrow by 10 yards? One route that fell apart because the timing wasn't there. One fumbled snap. And then everything stopped. I literally watched players turn away from the drill like they didn't want to watch the gap widen any further. And then Sanders came right back in and launched a rollout throw 40 yards down the sideline in perfect stride. The offense absolutely swarmed him. Chest bumps. Helmet slaps. Guys screaming in celebration. But what stood out to me had nothing to do with the throw. It was the way players moved around him without being told. Offensive linemen started hanging closer to him between plays. Running backs drifted toward him asking questions. Receivers literally stood nearer to his side of the field waiting for their turn to catch one of his passes. That kind of movement doesn't happen by accident. That's respect. That's belief forming organically. Gabriel saw it. Coaches saw it. The front office saw it. And make no mistake, everyone understood what they were watching. By the end of practice, Sanders wasn't just finishing drills. He was walking off, surrounded by teammates, talking, laughing, answering questions like he'd been the starter for years. Gabriel walked off alone, staring at the grass, helmet hanging from his hand, body language telling the whole story. This wasn't a bad day for one quarterback. This was a performance gap so large it erased draft status, erased comfortable narratives, erased any idea that this thing was still up for debate. I watched players who were skeptical on draft night suddenly treat this guy like the future of the franchise. And here's the most important part. Sanders didn't lobby for anything. He didn't ask for the job. He didn't make a speech. He didn't do anything but perform. He let the ball speak. And the ball said everything. I heard someone inside the building say it flat out. Today wasn't a competition. Today was Sanders announcing he's taking the job and nobody can stop him. And the wild thing is, nobody seemed interested in stopping him. They were celebrating it. The sideline reaction wasn't hype. It was recognition. You could feel it. Every player, every coach, every staffer knew exactly what had just happened. The competition is over. The hierarchy is set. Whether they say it tomorrow or drag it out for 2 more weeks, it doesn't matter. The locker room already knows who the starting quarterback is. They saw it with their own eyes. This season was supposed to be different. We walked into week 1 believing the Browns were finally about to make real noise in the AFC. Instead, we got injuries, bad breaks, and 5 weeks of offensive football that looked more like a survival exercise than an NFL game plan. Dillon Gabriel has been trying. I respect the kid. He's tougher than people realize. But 1 win, 4 losses, 869 passing yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's not an offense. That's life support. And while the defense keeps showing up, Myles Garrett keeps playing like he's auditioning for a Marvel contract. Even they're starting to show cracks. The fatigue is real. The tension is real. Everybody is waiting for something to shift. And then Sunday night at 8:45 p.m., it happened. Deshaun Watson reappeared like a ghost stepping out of the fog. Instagram, 2 words, be ready. That was it. After being silent for almost a year. No rehab pics. No motivational quotes. No workouts. Nothing. And then suddenly his account erupts with rehab videos. Sweat, therapy rooms, him limping, then running, then throwing. He tags more glory. And then he doubles down in his story. Had to walk a lot of miles to get here. When I read that, I didn't see motivation. I saw a message. Maybe even a warning. And I wasn't the only one. The dog pound exploded instantly. Half the fan base said, he's coming back. This season isn't dead yet. The other half rolled their eyes and said, be ready for what? More disappointment. That's what makes this team and this fan base so damn fascinating. We are always divided but always emotionally invested. Even inside Berea, that post rubbed some people the wrong way. Stefanski was asked about Watson practicing this week and he dropped a line. I'll never forget. I'm not sure that's what we're doing. Short, cold, loaded. Mary Kay comes in right after with her update. Watson's progress looks great, but the Browns are not opening his 21-day practice window yet. That means he's close but not close enough to actually make this easy on anyone. And then we hear the real bomb. Ownership wants to see more reps for Dillon Gabriel and Sanders this season, especially with 2 first-round picks coming in 2026. Read between the lines. While Watson is posting about more glory, the guys cutting the checks might already be preparing to move forward without him. Jimmy Haslam called the Watson trade a failure. He said it publicly. You do not say that unless you've already started looking at the future. So, if it feels like a civil war inside the fan base right now, it's because there is one. One side says, if he's healthy, he gives us the best shot. The other side says, he's done more rehabbing than winning. Time to turn the page. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. If Stefanski activates Watson and plays him and he stinks, Stefanski who gets burned for it. But if he doesn't play him and Watson looks ready, the whispers of sabotage start immediately. This isn't just football anymore. This is politics. This is money, ego, reputation. Everybody is playing for something different. But if Watson really is healthy and really is ready, the entire season changes. This offense goes from bottom-tier production at 17 points a game to something that can stretch the field again. He was finally starting to look comfortable back in 2022 before the injury. He can move, he can read pressure, he can hit the deep ball. That's something Gabriel just hasn't unlocked. But nobody knows which Watson we're going to get. The one we traded for? Or the version who might never fully shake off 2 Achilles surgeries. And all of this is happening while we're about to play the Steelers in a game that might decide whether the season lives or dies. One more loss could bury our playoff hopes. Every whisper turns into a headline right now. Every decision feels like it could set off a bomb. So when Watson dropped those 2 words, it wasn't just a caption. It was a shockwave. And now I've got a question for all of you. Do you think Deshaun Watson is about to come back and resurrect this season? Or was that post the opening line to yet another heartbreaking chapter in Brown's history? If you still believe in him, type believe in the comments. If you're done, type enough. I want to see where this fanbase really stands. Because look, no matter what you think of him, the guy has been to hell and back. 2 major injuries, surgeries, media storms, public criticism, and instead of disappearing, he's still fighting to get back on the field. That story he posted had to walk a lot of miles to get here. That's pain. It's pride, ego, grit, all in one line. This could be a comeback story. Or it could be the final page in the biggest gamble this franchise ever made. But I do know one thing. The Dog Pound never quits. Ever. We are built on disappointment, stubborn loyalty, and unreal belief in a team that has broken our hearts more times than we can count. So maybe, just maybe, when Watson said, "Be ready," he wasn't talking to reporters. Or coaches. Or haters. Maybe he was talking to us. Maybe he was saying, "Don't give up yet." I'm not done, so now I'm asking you, Cleveland, are you ready? Because what happens next might change everything. Hit subscribe. Drop your take in the comments. I'll see you there.